Hello everyone, my name is Jesse Heisel, and if you're familiar with this channel, you know that the horror genre is what I'm all about. So I just came from the theaters after just watching the newest Saw movie, Jigsaw. And seeing as how it's just newly released this weekend, I thought I'd give my thoughts on it and kind of share on what I liked and what I didn't like. So let's start off with the likes. What did I like about Jigsaw? First off, I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this franchise. I've always have been. In fact, from right now, I have seen every single Saw movie except for the first two in theaters. So I'm a big fan of the franchise. And I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was really good. And I really enjoyed that Lionsgate is continuing this franchise. And hopefully we will see more in the future. One of the big things that I want to compliment on is the writing. I always think the writing is really good. I thought the twists at the end, well, actually, without spoiling anything, there are actually quite a few twists. And I'm not going to spoil anything with this review. I'm going to try my best, at least, to not do any spoilers. But there are a lot of twists. I would say once the first big reveal is shown on screen, the twists just keep coming, and all in all, I think the writing was really well done to where all the twists make sense. And although it seems it's going to be confusing at first when the first big reveal is brought to you, it actually wraps up really well. And so I appreciate that, because I was pretty skeptical at first when the first real big reveal was brought in. I was like, okay, how are they going to explain this? Because I've seen all the other ones, so I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to be explained. And it was explained really well, so I compliment the writing on that. Another thing I liked, as always, with this franchise, the gore is something that the fans want to see. And from what we saw with the gore, I thought it was really done. Practical effects as always, so I always appreciate that. I'm a sucker for practical effects, which is why I keep coming back to see these Saw movies. And yeah, it's held up from where all the others are. So gore effects were really good. As for the acting, I thought the acting was really well. I liked most of the cast. I didn't think there was any weak acting from any standpoints. I noticed a few other actors and actresses that I've seen from other movies, small like independent movies and stuff. So I like seeing them on the big screen and just seeing that their career is continuing. So that was fun to see some actors I've seen in the past get into this franchise. And of course, Tobin Bell, he's always great as Jigsaw. And he was great in this one, just like he was in all the others. So definitely appreciated that. Now that we talked about what I liked in the movie, now let's discuss about what I didn't particularly like in the movie. I think I want to start off with the gore. Now, although I did say I did like the gore in this movie, I would say for a Saw movie, this one was kind of held back a bit when it came to the gore. But that, I mean, although there was gore, there was not as much as you would expect, especially from this type of movie. If you've seen any other Saw movies, you know they get pretty gory and graphic, and there's a few moments in this movie where that happens, but for me personally, and seeing as how far along this movie is into the franchise, I was expecting a lot more gore. There is a really nice death scene at the very end that kind of helps with the lack of gore from the rest of the movie, but at the same time, I wanted a bit more blood and gore. But that's just me, and that's what I was expecting from this movie. Another thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't really particularly like, I felt a lot of this movie was more focused from a detective side in storytelling. And they've done this in the past with like Part 5 and a few others. But this one felt more like a detective movie than an actual Saw movie. And I don't know, that's not what I'm personally going in to see when I see a Saw movie. I want to see the traps and the people in the traps trying to figure out why you're there and how they're going to escape and how the victims are going to work together or not work together. That's what I'm interested in. The detective side, although it was kind of interesting at points, uh, I don't feel that this is the franchise that should be focused on detective type of storytelling. Now, although I did say I did like this movie, I would say that this is by far not one of my favorites. I would say within the lineups of all these Saw movies, this one is probably somewhere in the middle, maybe even a little less towards the middle. Although it's not bad, I enjoy it. At the same time, when you consider the lack of gore and it being more of a detective run storyline, it just, to me, it didn't feel as much as a Saw movie as it did a detective film in a weird way. And on that, it kind of felt like they were redoing a previous Saw movie anyway. In all honesty, this one kind of felt like a retelling of Saw 5 in a way. Not exactly. I mean, the twists and stuff are definitely different. But at the same time, from it being more of a detective storyline and having all of the Jigsaw victims all being in the same room trying to work together, that's what it kind of felt like. It felt like a retelling of Part 5. So that's maybe why um, there there wasn't much as excitement with this one with me because I've already seen this one before. Um, but all in all, I do think it's still a fun time. And usually around this time, this is where I would agree or disagree with the IMDb ratings for this film. But seeing as how this movie just got released, the ratings on IMDb are going to be different every single day. So instead, the question of the day is, would I recommend seeing Jigsaw in theaters? I would say yes, if you're a Saw fan. I think if you've seen all the others in the franchise and are still a fan today, I would definitely say that you should go see Jigsaw. I think it's a fun time. I don't think it's one of the best ones, but it's definitely not one of the worst ones. And I definitely think if you're a diehard Saw fan, seen all the others before, then I would recommend go seeing it. So, hopefully you enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'm Jesse Heisel, and thanks for watching.